Hello, and welcome to another special prologue for our Magic the Gathering D&D campaign. These prologues detail our currently unignited heroes and lead up to their pivotal moment of change where the Planeswalker spark ignites within them and thrusts them through the blind eternities, into a multiverse yet unknown. I have with me here one of the unignited, and I'd like to take the opportunity to let you get properly acquainted with them now.
Hello, I'm as I was on the social medias because I think I'm funny. And today I will be playing Kistel Palmer, the Tiefling Cleric.
A Tiefling Cleric and nothing more. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Ravnica, a vast and sprawling city plain. It's a world defined by the towering architecture, endless streets, and most importantly, its 10 powerful guilds. For thousands of years, these guilds have shaped the landscape of Ravnica, each controlling a distinct aspect of the society, from law and order to chaos and secrets. The Guild Pact, a magical agreement forged long ago, was designed to maintain balance among the guilds, preventing any one from rising too far above the rest, and keeping the intricate machine of Ravnican society in motion. People of Ravnica come from all walks of life. Humans, elves, goblins, Vidalcan, and more, all living under the influence of the guilds, which act as part of the plane's government, economy, and military power. The Boros Legion serves as Ravnica's defenders, enforcing justice with righteous fervor, while the Azoria Senate upholds the law with bureaucratic precision. The Izzet League, once led by the genius dragon Niv Mizzet, is a haven for inventors and mages who push the boundaries of science and magic. Meanwhile, the Golgari Swarm thrives in the Undercity, ruling over life, death, and decay, and the Rakdos cult revels in chaos, spreading fear and madness through their dark performances. The history of Ravnica has been one of cooperation and conflict, with the guilds often working together for the greater good, only to descend into bitter rivalries and power struggles. The dissolution of the original Guild Pact centuries ago led to a period of chaos as the balance between the guilds shattered and Ravnica teetered on the edge of anarchy. However, a new Guild Pact was eventually formed, not as a magical law, but an agreement bound to the will of a living being. One whose heir, unfortunately, had to be put down and stripped of the powers of the guild by the heroes known as the Eternal Vanguard. Together, these heroes have saved Ravnica and the multiverse time and time again. And it is the Eternal Vanguard and their founders who help inspire peace and unity throughout the plane. But peace on Ravnica is fragile, and with the written guild pact restored by the Eternal Vanguard, the guilds remain ever watchful, vying for power in the shadows, each seeking to advance its own agenda. As tensions rise, new threats begin to emerge. Old grudges, dangerous experiments, and a whisper of conspiracy that shakes the foundation of what the Eternal Vanguard has helped to build here. We cast our eyes backwards, before the Vanguard found their foothold. Before they first made a name for themselves. We cast our eyes to a library, to a tiefling cleric. In the middle of the invasion, Kistel, your home is under attack. The undead walk the streets clad in strange blue metal. A woman wielding vast necromantic power guides all of their movements. A great dragon with horns and a powerful sphere in the center has raised a citadel. And for all the heroes, for all the champions of all the guilds, everyone seems powerless to do anything. What do we find you doing in the midst of all of this while the undead walk the streets, harvesting souls of specific individuals for their power?
I think Kistel's seen the woman and the dragon and seeing that they're pulling people from their bodies for some purpose starts funneling people into the stacks. She stands at the entrance, grabbing who she can, having the few workers that are allowed a little bit farther down into the library, as the library is vast, much faster than people realize. So she's out on the street, just inside now. Come on, come on. All of you, this way, please.
They run in eagerly, Pistol. Your location, as you say, it's faster than people realize. Looks relatively modest, especially compared to the other facilities that are on Ravnica. There are other libraries that are grand with incredible spires that reach toward the floating aisles. But your establishment is modest. What do they find when they enter, when they come to you for safety?
The entrance is a desk that has the sections split into basically compass points. It just looks like vast shelving on the first floor, and it goes down, maybe? You can get turned around quite easily, that's why we have attendants here. It's beautiful in its collection. The architecture is a bit strange. A lot of it's stone and brass.
You offer shelter for those who need it. And to your credit, there is shelter to be had here. It's not a place that is difficult to fortify. You have some choices to make here, Kistel. Do you barricade the door? Do you overturn stacks of the bookcases?
If people try to overturn stacks of the bookcases, that's when we're gonna start having a problem. But Kistel kind of just reaches out to the stacks. What should I do? Are you gonna lock yourself up, or? And just kind of talking to her library, looking for some sort of guidance.
Most peaceful. The individuals rush in. Some of the braver do attempt to lift and carry some of the bookcases. Before you can really come to its defense and scold them for being rude or however you see fit, the library itself shifts, changes, brass warps almost. These things are meant to change, meant to move, but you can see, and perhaps no one else does, the floor itself, little filigree reach out to the bookcases, pinning them to the ground, piercing through the backs of the wooden bookcases and holding them close, as if grasping for things that are theirs, unwilling to let go of its possessions. You ask the question. The response you get is an emotion, it's a feeling, it comes into your mind and almost pierces into your heart. It says, "We will be safe here."
With that, Kistel kind of silently nods to herself and reaches out to the doors, and places a hand on it, and that filigree comes together again, and there's no longer a door to open.
The onlookers, strange magics, but Ravnica is not unused to things like this. The only people that remain as the others, these survivors, these refugees, in the heart of your home, in the heart of something greater than they'll ever realize. The only ones that remain look distinctly not Ravnican. Some wear heavy clothing doubled over as if ready for a harsh winter. Others are stripped almost bare, their chests exposed, and you would expect leathers or a bandolier of weapons, paint from the Gruul clans. These are the barbarians that would come into this place almost unclothed. But no, these are well-defined rags, is the best way to put them. Stitched and almost by design, only showing sections of their body. These are distinctly not Ravnican clothing.
You are more than welcome to stay. Well, we wait this out as long as you're respectful. I can't promise your safety if you don't mind your manners. I'm so sorry. Where are you all from? I've never seen. I mean, I've read, but you don't look familiar to me. Where?
Can see a elf, brownish reddish hair, unclothed, tattooed. Says, well, what do you mean? Is there I don't, where is here, I suppose, is the better question.
You're in the greatest library of all of Ravnica.
What is Ravnica?
It's where you are. If you don't... Where did you come from? If not in Ravnica.
Hail from Skemfar. Kistel, this is not a name that you know.
No. She's gonna kind of dig through a shelf until she has something to write with, and kind of take down stock of who is in her library. So, how did you come to be here, if you don't mind me asking? Did you come with the dead? Or...
No, I was concerned. I fell. I thought I might join the dead. Concerned that Starnheim did not await me, I fell and foolishly kind of looked sheepishly down. I misjudged the height of the tree and fell. And the next I knew, I was falling onto strange stonework, and I saw the horns of the dragon and the hordes of undead. I ran.
You ran here, and this is where you shall stay while we find out where you are from. Strange. Rather strange. There's not much I don't know, and I don't know what you speak of.
Is this Bretagard?
No. What is Bretagard?
It's where I see many humans. Is this their home? Is this that is Bretagard? That's their home. They have a last foothold in Carfell, Skybreen, but I thought because there are so many that... Where in the realms is this? Kistel, you...
Yeah,
This is...
still has no idea what that means. On the 10th, I don't know exactly where that is. Which district?
The 10th realm?
No. I don't know what you mean by realm.
He
Is that a
kinda-
street in the district you're from, or?
He looks kind of confused and kind of grabs what looks like just some ink that you have on a desk. He dips his fingers in and begins to kind of draw out on the table, no less, and begins to kind of
Off
draw
the
out
table, it's fine.
the symbol of like a tree and kind of circle certain things. He draws this very intricate and very strange. It's very esoteric in your mind. It's a tree that contains all life to him. This is either a strange new cult or something just otherworldly. He begins to explain where Skybreen is, where Bredegard is, and he asks you to point where on this tree is the 10th.
While this looks quite similar to a few things in the 3rd precinct, it's nowhere on your very quickly drawn map. And Kistel will kind of turn around and start rifling through shelves until she gets to a map of Ravnica, of probably the 10th, and then like a bigger map to be like, we're here. And this is Ravnica. She's gonna try and like push the ink off the table as like with a sleeve so she can lay the maps down without them getting damaged. So this is where you are. If you could gladly not draw on it, it's very sensitive when it comes to what it adds to itself.
I understand. This is Immerstern. Understood. Thank you. He kind of reaches for your hand, grips the forearm, shakes. Says, whatever demons befall your domicile, rest assured I will defend. I am not a great warrior, but I can wield an axe or a sword.
I am sure that it will be very appreciative of that, should the need arise. Sir.
He seems content. His conclusion he's drawn is that this is Immersturm somewhere else on his tree, but he seems adamant, and he kind of looks around and begins to take stock of his surroundings and nods at the fortifications and begins to plan. When you look down, you can see that the ink has sort of sunken and taken. It's gone now. Your library has accepted this information, and somewhere on a tome, on a scroll, this has been added to the collection.
Yeah, Kistel kind of walks amongst the people, but kind of along the shelves, kind of is just quietly to herself. Are you holding out on me? Is there something that you know that you're not willing to tell me? Just... It's not nice to keep me in the dark. I'm supposed to take care of you. Something.
There's a comfort washes over you. It once again speaks into you. You can get the feeling it says, talk to them. What are their stories?
It's going to be a long evening, and Kistel will get all of the materials necessary to add these people's lives and their realms to her god.
You do this, you spend the evening gathering stories. Strange stories. You hear about this tree from this gentleman that you've already spoken with. You hear about a place that is a vast desert with storms that only the shield mages can combat because they spew rock that carves and cuts into nearly every material. Everything that you know, Kistel says that this is a diamond storm of some sort. You hear of worlds with vast oceans and great beasts. Worlds that reach out and whose waters overflow into the stars. You hear of other gods that are benevolent and strange, others that are actively aggressive toward its people. Whole worlds that you had no idea existed, new information. And you can feel the eagerness of your god. The library takes everything in. This is how it is for a number of days. Until the world shakes. And the door reappears, emerges. You can see the survivors, these refugees, spew outward, hoping that the battle is done, that everything is settled. But it's not. You can see the apex, the climax of this story reaching as the dragon is called down from the citadel. This great golden beast with glowing blue eyes roars defiantly as it battles alongside these strange undead gods from another world. Mortal men and women. Beings that also look distinctly not Ravnican. They fight alongside the guilds. The Boros leads a charge, the Azorius keeps the area secure. The spirits of the Orzhov bombard the gods, fighting the dead with the dead. One of them, a strange wizard, his hair fine, almost perfectly waving in the wind. Surely some charm of effect as it sort of waves softly despite the efforts as he drops down onto the back of the dragon, punching, and a reverberating thunder with each strike pulses out. One lies dead for but a moment as another, clad all in sort of silver armor, a paladin of some sort, touches and brings him to life once more. They rush back into the fray. This strange sorcerer on the back of this dragon does combat with what looks like a captain, a pirate captain of some sort. Dark-skinned, torn, blood across his chest. He wields a rapier and stabs into the beast's ankle and cuts it down so it drops to his shoulder. They're winning, Gistil. Against all odds, it's like something out of the fiction stories. They're winning. This great battle taking place with the guilds united, finally, once against a threat far from their home. It's a sight to behold. But unlike the stories, there is no magic sword. There is no great spell. You recognize the magic that they use. Foreign though they are, a lot of the things that they're using, you recognize. The sorcerer on the back, clutching to a scale, weaves his hand, and you think to yourself, no. This is something you teach novices. This can't possibly work on this creature. But it weaves a spell of sleep. The dragon's eyes flutter and fall. He sleeps on the street, the threat now sweetly dreaming, as they all stop for but a split second and assess. And they gather their strength, and they ready their strongest weapons. And they strike him down while he dreams. The threat ended with a snore. What do you do, Kistel?
It's that momentary, pause of there's no way. There's no way. But they did it. Watching them fight the dragon has put Kistel in a momentary state of panic. But realizing that it's over. This is not the same situation. And now there's a whole story that needs to be told. All new records that need to be added.
Indeed.
And more research to be done.
There's a flourish as everyone waits. There's a silence that falls over. Everyone processes. There's quiet for a few seconds before this captain raises up the blade and holds it high. He shouts something. You think he says, "For Ravnica." This clearly foreign presence, this clearly otherworldly being. As purple mist surrounds the blade, the guilds join in. For Ravnica. It's a sight. Perhaps peace will last this time, Kistel.
It's a hope.
For the coming few months, it does. And you record the stories. You learn the names of these heroes. You learn of the sorcerer Oz, the great and powerful. Captain Swedella Alfara. Therabor Rendistar. These names recorded in history. You learn of a meek human who stands alongside them, unassuming, that did great works enough to somehow revive a once dead Niv-Mizzet, a being of immense power. He didn't even know he was dead. Thought he was just gone off to experiment on his own. The leader of the Izzet Guild, though, now stands as the living guild pact thanks to his efforts. You learn of these beings. They are called planeswalkers. And the stories of these beings now become something that even the common man understands. The knowledge of other worlds, the fact that you're not alone in this multiverse, is something that even the farmers will know. They begin the foundations. They don't leave. The threat is gone, yet they stay. They form an organization called the Eternal Vanguard, meant to safeguard and protect whatever plane they might call home, and even those that they don't. They have a lofty goal ahead of them, Kistel. They aim to be heroes, not just of this place, but every plane, every world. There's only a handful. But support grows. for their efforts, for their triumphs, statues, accolades, awards, and medals. The heroes of Ravnica. Months pass. Gather knowledge. The library learns and takes and absorbs. While you're writing one day, feel a push against your mind. You know it's not the library. It's a simple message. You're not unused to this, but it's a gruff voice.
What's happened?
What do you mean, what's happened?
Why does the air smell different? It's like they built something new.
Well, they have been. Remember the guild that I told you? Well, I suppose that they're calling themselves an organization, but it's a guild. They just don't know it yet. Well, they've been building, and it's
Can't be a guild. There's only 10 of them. Azor made sure of that.
yes, but no one's seen Azor for years, millennia, at this point.
Likely asleep. Maybe resting after his great works. Always did fancy a long nap after a day's work.
I'm sure. Yes. Aren't you supposed to be napping right now, or?
I'm hungry.
Okay. Anything in particular, or just?
Feel like sheep. I feel like whole herd of cattle.
Kistel, you know that he can't eat cattle anymore. It's not, can't digest them anymore. He's kind of going, not decrepit, but it won't settle well with him.
How about I go to that one shop around the corner, and I'll get a few gallons of their stew, and maybe some of those little fried dough things that you like so much.
Is it the one with the onions in it?
I could get them to make one without onions.
No, I like the onions.
Oh, okay. I will make sure they add extra onions for you, grandfather.
Thank you, Kistel.
You're welcome. I'll just...
When you come down, remind me to let you know of the chess match I won against Niv Mizzet. I hear he's up and about acting like the lord of the land.
Well, we can have that story time again. Okay, I'll be back.
He has withdrawn from your mind as you are gathering your things, preparing for your journey. There's some, not noise necessarily, but there's an uptick of volume coming from one of the almost like a study chamber, an open area where two people sit and have a discussion about whatever content that they found to read. You can hear a voice speak up and say, "We won't find anything here. Why are we here? We should have gone to the Ismari library." Hear the second voice speak up, feminine. It says, "Promise you this place will have what we need, and if at the very least anything, we'll give them a start."
Crystal's gonna come to the entrance of like the study chamber, like she's gotten her bag ready. But hearing that there's a better library it's not true. It's a lie. And it's honestly both disrespectful and blasphemous at the same time. So she's gonna pop her head in. Is this something I can help you find?
You can see there are two individuals here. One clad in armor. Well, both are clad in armor. One, the gentleman, is clad in sort of silver with a white tabard on his left side. Very clearly marked with a Boros insignia, the fist with the sun behind it. The woman is short-haired, also wearing armor. They both look very paladin-esque. She wears the insignia of the Azoria. She very clearly is an arrester, almost like a police officer. But they kind of look up, and she speaks, cutting him off very quickly before he can speak up. Says, "No, I think we have what we need. We're just kind of looking things over, making sure that it's adequate for our needs."
I assure you, if that is not exactly what you're looking for, we do have what you need. This is, and she's gonna make direct eye contact with the gentleman, the best library in Ravnica. And most of the worlds.
Most of the worlds?
Well, I haven't done enough research to properly determine that.
Well, that's unfortunate. And you can see she cuts him off once more. We have no doubt that your collection is vast. We're not looking for histories of other worlds, though. That would be perhaps beneficial, but we're looking more so. She turns the book toward you. So it's very clear they're looking into, like, the history of Ravnica and what the guild's purposes are. She says, our benefactor is looking to learn more about his new home. You may have heard of him. This gentleman speaks up and says, Captain Sudela Alfara is looking to learn about the guilds and what their purposes are, what their true purposes are.
Of the Eternal Vanguard?
Just the same.
I have exactly what he needs. Both the direct translation and the redacted version for an easier summary.
You can see Maya kind of looking over at this gentleman. She says, "You see, Tula? I told you this is the place. It remains to be seen, Maya. We'd like to see, if at all possible, the redacted. It's of grave importance that the good captain is well informed for his works. He's also looking for something on the he gives the woman, now you know, Maya, a look and says, the summary of Azoria's particulars, the laws on trade, cargo, things like that.
My librarian and I would be more than happy to assist you if we could strike up an arrangement with the captain's guild, especially with the knowledge that they have."
Maya speaks up and says, I'm sure he'll be very interested, but I must clarify, the Eternal Vanguard, not officially a guild. The law
It's
is very
the
particular.
definition, but as you said, the law. Organization, as they put it.
She smiles. Tula kind of smirks, looking at her, and says, "Sure, we could arrange a meeting."
Wonderful. If you would like to pass this along, she's got like triplicate applications filled out in case they needed one for her, the library, or her and the library based on their relationship.
Understood. What if you don't mind me asking, Kistel, this is an application, almost like a resume. What does this detail a little bit? Let's talk about
It
what's on Kistel's
details
resume.
that basically it's not even like a resume. It's her attempt to have a pact like a tiefling would, based on ancestry. But it basically details that Kistel is not the owner of this library. The owner of the library is its own specific being with its own specific motives, and she will do her best to be a diplomatic entity between any
Sort of a
dealings.
liaison.
Yeah. And that she is not responsible if you upset the library and something happens to you. It's a liability waiver
Mm-hmm.
in the form of a resume.
And the woman looks very impressed. You know that the Azorius definitely appreciate a hearty contract. She looks this over, and Tula says, "We'll get this to the captain. We'll get you squared away. Your looks over her shoulder. Kistel Palmer.
Correct.
You'll be hearing from us, Miss Palmer."
That sounds rather threatening. Have you decided to just... Okay.
Maya kind of smiles. Says, We'll be in touch, in a good way.
Wonderful. I will have some of the... I will personally go get the versions that we have in stock.
And they
The redacted is free to leave with you. The unredacted must stay within the bounds.
A deal is struck, and they depart. Kistel. It doesn't take long. Perhaps a week, maybe a bit less, before you meet the good captain. He's a lot. He's soft-spoken in a sense, but it's more of the action, the man of action. You meet the rest of them as well. They come together. The smaller gentleman, the one that is said to have revived Nimizit, is quiet, and as he kind of respectfully, very gingerly picks up tomes and looks through pages, closes them, places them back on the shelf, lining them up perfectly. The rest kind of wait and talk with you, but he is drifting from bookcase to bookcase, picking out things he might be interested in. You meet them all. They're all strange in their own way. At the end of this, the captain accepts your contract. After having it looked over and combed through by what he can only describe as his legal representation. You are given an insignia. Your library is placed under, not control, but protection of the Eternal Vanguard. They don't ask you to change anything. They don't ask you to add anything to the building or add an insignia. But they just ask you to remember that they're your friends now. And they'd like that their friends help them, that they help their friends when they can. It's a few days after this that you can hear grandfather's voice in your ear.
Finally joined a guild, huh?
It's not a guild, it's an organization. They were very clear.
Well, that's not what you said a few weeks ago.
And then we went over the legal representation, the repercussions of a 11th guild based on your friends' city planning.
Well, this new guild, this 11th guild, this forbidden, this sort of illegal guild. It's not going to get you in any trouble, is it?
No more than it did when you made an illegal... Well, it's not legal, but I don't think it was very... Might have been a little frowned upon, but you did. But it worked out, so this is going to work out too.
We can call it what it is, Kistel. I built a god.
Of course, grandfather.
Through the gathering of knowledge, my horde created something bigger than this city, bigger than the guilds, bigger than that guild pact.
He goes on this tangent a lot, Kistel. Talking about the grandeur of the god that he somehow created, the ancient knowledge that he collected to create a sentient library, this grand being that thirsts for knowledge and gives safety and love in return. It's not wrong, but it does get a bit old to hear about.
Yeah, just like, yep, of course. No, I remember. It's my god, too. But, so, are you hungry? Are you bored?
A little bit of both, really.
Okay.
Tell me about your new guild. What's the tea? Isn't that what the kids say?
The tea, correct, grandfather. It's, well, they're a bit odd, really. All just in their own little ways. But the one thing was the one kept wandering around, checking out the library. He kept picking up books and almost like they were looking for something, but
Touching things he's not supposed to be. Touching things and just putting them down again. Sounds like Demir work. Keep an eye on that one. The spies, the assassins, the thought thieves. He might be a sliver from the inside, something hidden, something secret. Lazov has agents everywhere.
keep an eye out for that, grandfather. So, are we thinking just giant pies of different varieties?
Blueberry.
Blueberry, of course.
This happens. You go through a few of these conversations. Time passes. Kistil. The guild comes often. Not always, of course, with the key members, the founding members of the Vanguard, but their numbers grow. They become a shipping organization, cargo transport. They deal in security, transport, all manner of things. And they help protect the city. But there's also a lot of profit. And with that comes payment. The library is well funded. The Ismaria Library in Precinct 5 has always been officially it's a guildless library. There are whispers that the Demir use it and keep it under their control. It's a major communication center. But it's always been a clear marker of the most famous library in Ravnica. But with the funding, your library grows. In popularity, there are more visitors that come, and with that comes a little more stress, Kistil. Not everyone is as respectful, and eventually there are whispers that your library is alive. Something, or some strange enchantments, maybe. But those who seek to steal, tear pages, or, God forbid, not return the items that they've borrowed, people turn up injured. People are expelled by magic force. This makes the library pleased. It also brings power in and of itself. This is essentially a form of worship, these whispers. it grows. Time passes, and your partnership with the Vanguard it's good. You aren't called for any great battle. You aren't called to travel to another world. Do you think a part of you wishes you were?
For Kistel? No. Because she gets the stories. And those become a part of her in a way, because they become part of her library. Even though its ego is getting a little out of control, and it's concerning her a little, it's home in more ways than one.
Indeed. And home becomes larger, becomes bigger. And strange enough, Kistel, quieter. Maybe it's the growth, maybe it's the extra chambers. It's as if the entity can't fill the space. It's as if the building itself is growing faster than what resides inside. There are moments, pockets, brief spaces where you feel alone within these walls, where the filigree doesn't shimmer, where the walls are just walls. It's strange, it's unsettling. It's not the way it's supposed to be. But there's, of course, as well, more hands brought in to help with the work. It's these hands that unsettle you sometimes. As time passes, these workers, they feel off. You catch one of them, you think, reading from a restricted area before they disappear behind a bookcase. And as you maneuver, they're gone by the time you reach them. But theft wouldn't be possible. Not within these walls. Every once in a while you'll catch another one coming into work and their eyes seem different. The coloration is off, a freckle is removed and added again the next day. Little things. You're not entirely sure what it means. Your grandfather tells you not to mind. The library keeps you safe, and the library will keep itself safe. It's not until another war breaks out, a hidden war. One day Niv Mizzet declares that the Vanguard is exiled. They are banished, all of their holdings dissolved, and the core members to be hunted should they ever return. The guilds unite against the Vanguard. They do return, and Ravnica has changed. All of Ravnica turns against them. Your workers speak out. Good riddance. Damn them to hell. These people that have helped the library grow, now enemies of the entire plane. How do you feel, Kistel?
What gets to to Kiz, I think the most is just they helped her grow her god. And then there's that little bit of doubt because her god has been quiet. And maybe that's why, that something's wrong with how they've been conducting business, but that contract is solid. So it's trying to figure out what went wrong.
You ponder this, and one day, not so particularly strange, a member of the Vanguard returns to you. The founders, but one of their core crew. He usually operates and stays on their ship, the Amara's Wrath. This beautiful sky ship that is said to walk between the worlds as easily as they do. He's clad in black, he is bloodied. He wears symbols of the Orzhov, the Church of Deals. Comes in, sort of leans up, bleeding on the receptionist desk, and looks to you and says, "I need you to hide me. We've never met. My name is Riley. I serve the captain. I need you to hide me."
And I've met him before.
Maybe once or twice.
It's in the contract. So, Kistel will take him through the stacks. Not to where the most precious thing in the library to her is, but deep enough that unless there was a guide, you wouldn't be able to find him.
You do this.
Probably on the way, what happened?
Liars, they're all liars. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. The captain is away, and they're gonna hunt them. They've created something terrible. They're called Spark Hunters, and they're coded to the captain and his crew. They take the blood. They can track planeswalkers just off of, I don't even know what, but they need our blood to know us. He grips you by the shoulders. You need to close this place. You need to offer sanctuary, but never open it once more. Keep it closed until this is over. The Dimir could be anyone. You can't trust anyone. Expel every worker. He kind of looks at you in horror. Says, "Who are you? Who are you really?"
Crystal Palmer. I've been working with the Vanguard for quite some time, and you are bleeding on my clothes.
Choice. I don't have a choice. He starts to mutter as he follows you. You know this individual. His name is Riley.
And he said the same thing that grandfather did all of those years ago, and while grandfather is a little off his rocker, he said pretty much the same thing, but a while ago.
You bring him to this chamber. He rests for a while, and he says, "Just leave. I have to. Is this place warded? Does it turn against spirits?"
Well, in a way, I don't know if you can possess a god. I haven't tried.
A god? We've killed all the gods.
Yes, you did. I need to close the shop for the workers. Yeah, I think after having talked to Riley a little bit about them, announces to everyone that the library will be closing for some renovations. And kind of just reaching out and, I have to do this to keep you safe. Just hoping that it answers her.
There isn't an immediate answer, it's just pause. And then a quick flash of emotion and understanding. The workers go. And this is unusual, Kistel. Workers should ask what they're going to do for work, what they're going to do for money, what they're going to do. In the meantime, these people leave without question, as if they could get back in at any point, as if money wasn't the motivation. They leave. In the coming days, Riley leaves. Warns you not to trust anyone, to keep a watchful eye on everything. They may come back here, the Vanguard. They might use this place as a base of operations while they try to right things. For this, Riley departs, telling you that he's going to set about his work. He's going to begin making preparations. Waiting for orders from his captain. He leaves. And then there's just you, your grandfather, and the library. In the coming days, the quiet is deafening and unsettling. Your grandfather roams beneath the library and the larger halls and catacombs. He patrols. His old bones ache, but he moves on. It shows just how important this place is to him as well. Together, you catch a few. The worst has come to pass. They're sneaking in. There are cracks in the defenses. Your grandfather is not kind. There is no mercy. He burns them. He crunches them down with his teeth. The Vanguard does return, Kistel. They move secretly and quietly. They don't come here. They return to Ravnica and they make subtle movements. It's revealed that Niv Mizzet is compromised as he battles another great dragon high above the city. A dragon you learn is Therabor, the paladin of the crew of Amara's Wrath, who's learned to change his shape. He is wounded, so is Niv Mizzet though. Time passes. Comes to pass that the citizens of Ravnica are revealed to be replaced, many of them, by these strange changelings, homegrown in vats and tubes by Lazav. So many dead and never realized. A war in secret. Quietly, carefully, the Vanguard moves and eventually perhaps kills Lazav. they return to the forefront. The changelings die off bit by bit. The vanguard is restored. Captain Swedella, Vivum Lato, the Loxodon artificer that works on their crew, Therabor Rendestar, Oz, they all step forward, all but the little one. They revealed the plot that Lazov laid forward to steal their information, to steal the technology that they had developed for artificial planeswalking, in order to map the multiverse, in order to seize control of other worlds. Lazov plotted against them. They just say he's no longer going to be a problem. Order is restored. Pistol. In the coming days, as things normalize, the Dimir are essentially outlawed in a sense. Niv Mizzet loses the powers of the Living Guild Pact, and a new Guild Pact is restored. Written as it was originally. It doesn't stay on display. It is kept somewhere safe, somewhere secret, somewhere that they trust will keep it safe. Captain Swedella brings it to you by hand, wrapped in a tube. He bids you find a place for it.
I know exactly where this can go. And Kistel would take it to her grandfather's rooms, because that would be the safest place.
And you keep it safe for years. As things normalize, Kistel, is there anything that changes? Do you involve yourself more in the Vanguard's dealings? Do you involve yourself more in the guild's dealings, like the 10 guilds, or what do you find different?
With the artificial planeswalking, she starts to take and get as much from as many planes as possible to add to the library, because it's been so quiet.
Offerings, essentially.
Yeah. And trying to, actually, with that in mind, working more with the other guilds as well, if there's information that's needed to restore that balance. Now knowing each of the guild's individual jobs and the workings.
You work. You know that for the Vanguard, things have changed as well. The heroes of Ravnica, twice over now, only few of them remain from the core crew. Therabor is gone. No one knows where. At least no one that's willing to speak on it. Oz is gone. Again, no one will say where. The only ones left are Captain Swedella Alfara, who resides in the Tower of the Vanguard, and Vivum Lato, who travels from Ravnica to Avishkar, a plane that you know is made primarily of artifice, an inventor's dream. Things settle into a calm normalcy. For 5 years, you hear whispers. It's not like it used to be. You make your offerings. And one one day your grandfather speaks to you, a message in your mind.
Kistel,
Yes?
I'm scared.
What do you mean? What are you scared of?
I don't know where it's gone, Kistel.
What do you mean, grandfather?
Let's not pretend. It's been quieter. Can't hear it today.
I don't know why. I don't know if I've done something wrong. I've been trying to get it to talk. I did what you taught me, and I got it more information, and I wrote out a whole manuscript, and it's still on the table.
Bring it to its shelves. Maybe that won't stir it once more.
It's a good idea. And she's gonna grab the manuscript and go to put it where it goes.
You bring it to its shelf. You walk through the halls. Your grandfather's words, I'm scared, echoing. He's had a great connection to this place, to this entity, for a long time. Even in moments of silence, he's assured you that he can still hear. If he's stopped hearing, what does that mean?
Yeah, that just absolute panic is
You
starting
walk.
to set in. The panic in the chest, just knowing something's wrong and not knowing what it is the worst feeling. And trying to keep up that hope of persevering, because something will change if she just keeps at it, tries hard enough.
As you walk through these halls, through rows and rows of books, the brass is dull, the stone just stone. Kistel, what is the scroll or the manuscript that you carry? What do you think it's contained so far?
This one is probably the updates to the city about how we can change Ravnica just a bit with some of the city planning. It's just trying to start at a base level, because maybe that's what it was, is trying too much all at once, and it's just overwhelmed the
You walk, and Kistel, you round the corner, and you see something terrifying, something horrible, not something that should be. And it's not turning and seeing a creature. It's not turning and seeing something that shouldn't be there. It's turning and seeing nothing. It's turning and seeing something that's not the absence of what should be, as rows upon rows, shelves upon shelves are empty. Gone. Scrolls, books, historical paper scraps, all gone. An empty chamber. What do you do, Kistel?
Crystal's gripping the manuscript. And her claws start to just kind of sink into it. As she starts forward and starts like touching at the shelves where the book should be, where she would normally like face them, make sure they're all lined up and that everything's there, like trying to reach for something that's not there, hoping to pull it back. And they're like her full on in panic mode, her breath's coming and just like those short like gasps. And she's scared. This shouldn't be. They have to be somewhere. This isn't supposed to happen. Books don't leave. Her god doesn't leave.
His ragged breaths with broken sentences. Your god doesn't leave. But you don't feel it. Because your god already left. The weight of it, Gistel, it's heavy. A realization grandfather doesn't feel it. You can hear him speaking, it's muffled even in your head. You can't make sense of the words. It's a weight of realization. It's gone. It's gone. And you clutch this manuscript as you drop to knees and begin to breathe heavier, heaving, trying to catch as you look at the empty shelf, every bookcase a mockery. An absence. The brass is dim, the stone is just stone. It's gone. You breathe. It's gone. Your grandfather shouting something in your head you can't hear, something you can't make sense of. The languages aren't right. It's gone. It's gone, and so it burns. There's a rage that builds. A fear, a concern, a fighting instinct that kicks inside of you. It sparks, it ignites, and burns you from the inside. It's gone. And so are you. As you are flung from this space, the absence of books and tomes, and your god flings you into the unknown, the blind eternities. Emptiness awaits and takes you, Gistel, and you're gone. With only this manuscript clutched to your chest, you're gone. And that's where we will close this prologue. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.